Hey guys, it's Rich with your Monday Spot on the Pagan Perspective. First, I want to say that I am sorry about the glare on my glasses. I couldn't put my camera where it usually is because it was without battery power. So, yeah, I kind of had to plug it in and readjust where it's at. So, hopefully the glare on the glasses is not too distracting for you. Anyway, this week's topic, we're talking about, can we curse by accident? This one comes from Tabitha. It's kind of a lengthy way of getting to the questions, but it's very needed for this situation. So I'm going to put all that in the bottom bar. You can read that at your leisure, or just pause this and then read it, and then we'll get into the questions. Anyway, getting into the questions here. Do you think you can cast a curse on accident? I do not. And the reason that I think that you cannot curse by accident is because cursing is very intentional. It's very very much a way of making something come to fruition. At least that's my thinking of it. I have only bound one person. I don't cast curses all willy-nilly, and that's something I take very seriously. Does that mean I don't get angry at people and don't write things down that make me angry, and maybe I put something on a piece of paper that I really wouldn't want to come to fruition? No, writing something on a piece of paper, as was done in this example, is a type of therapy. It's a way of making yourself feel better and working through those issues that you're dealing with at the time. So I don't think that it was necessarily a curse, and I don't think that unless you put into there that I curse so-and-so, and you light it on fire, or you bury it in the yard, or something like that, I don't think that you necessarily put the intention behind it to curse somebody. Now, that doesn't mean that it can't be done by accident, but that is my opinion on casting a curse by accident. I don't think that it's necessarily possible, because cursing is very intentional. It's very much a visceral time, and you did it as a therapy, and I think the universe at the end of the day knows where you're coming from and what your intentions are in that moment. In this explanation, Tabitha also explains that coven mates think that things rebounded off of the intended target, the cursed, and came back at them, if I'm reading this correctly. And so Tabitha asks, if it did rebound, would it make sense for it to hit my friends instead of me? I think of this, and I'm going to put a little trigger warning here. I am going to be talking about bombs and whatnot, so trigger warning for all of you. I think of cursing and spell work in general kind of like a bomb blast. And the people at the center of the bomb blast, especially with cursing, not necessarily with all spells, but with a curse, you have a bomb blast where the center target, the targeted or the cursed person, is at the center of it. They get the brunt of the force. They may get injured, die, whatever. And then those on the outside of the bomb blast could be affected as well by shrapnel, or just a shock wave or whatnot. So that's the way I think of curses, and generally with a lot of different types of spell work, that if you have a central target zone, that the ones on the fringes could feel the effects as well. So I think that's possible, that if it did rebound, which, because you're not saying that anything came towards you directly, which would be the cursee, I don't think that you actually did a curse because of that, but I don't think it would go towards them, because they had no stake in it. They didn't have any they didn't have any reason to be affected other than being in close proximity. So possibly they could have gotten a shockwave from you, but I don't think that the curse rebounded, because I don't think it was a curse. My opinion. Then they go on to say, can energy witches break curses they cast themselves? My belief is that anything that you cast, you can break. And that's not to say that it wipes the slate clean. It doesn't make everything all sunshine and roses. It means that if you cast a spell, say it comes to fruition a little bit, but not all the way, and you decide to break it, you're still going to have to pay the piper for what has happened already, and you're going to feel the effects of what is needed from you, or what the universe wants from you, as a way of paying your fees for casting this curse. I hope that makes sense. If you believe in karma or the rule of three or anything like that, you know, you have to pay your dues for what you've put out, is basically what I'm trying to say. So basically, I think you can break it if you cast it, but that doesn't take away the effects of paying the piper or paying your fees for casting that type of spell. So keep that in mind. This is one reason why I don't curse or hex, because you have a fee that you have to pay in order to make this come to fruition. Unless, and there are ways of doing it where things don't come back at you at all, and I'm not going to get into that because, yeah, I don't do it very often, and I don't see a need to do it very often. There's other ways of doing spell work that I don't need to do it. So, anyway, I'm getting past that. I'm going to get off my soapbox for a second. I can't find clear answers online. Do you think you can help me sort out what likely happened? I don't know much about other forms of magic, so I'm unsure of what could have happened. So what I think happened was that in a time where you were very emotional, you put your thoughts and ideas and your quote-unquote, I don't want to say intention, into a piece of paper, and you did kind of self-therapy, which I think is very healthy to do. But I don't think you necessarily sent it out as a curse to anyone. What I think likely could have happened is that people are having a run of bad luck. It still happens, whether you're a witch or not, you still have bad luck every once in a while. Or you have something that the universe is testing you on, or that, you know, you may need to go through something to deal with something else, or something like that. You still have those things that you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. Just because you're a witch doesn't mean everything's going to be sunshine and roses all the time. Wouldn't that be great? So I think that, you know, certain things happened that were not even connected to this letter that was written, and I think that you, just to be safe, took the safe steps of putting on that paper, I do not intend any of this. I think, how did you write that? I do not intend anything I wrote here to come to fruition. I think you took a great step in doing that. I think that's always a safe way of making sure that you don't cast, even by accident. I think it's capable of casting by accident, but I don't think it's capable to cast a curse necessarily by accident. Curses are very involved, at least in my experience, are very involved. It's not just something that you write on a piece of paper and, you know, throw into the air on fire, and, you know, it just takes, you know, it comes to fruition. I think there's a lot of things that are involved in necessarily casting a curse. So I think that's something that I don't think that you did. And if you did it, I think the universe will suss out, you know, how serious were they, and is this necessarily something that they really, really wanted, or not? So these are only my opinion, and I really can't wait to see what the other hosts think, because I'm kind of on the fence on this. Maybe you can cast by accident, maybe you can't, but I don't think curses are necessarily by accident type of things. So I could be wrong. So hopefully one of the other hosts have a better explanation of what went on here, and I'd like to see their answers. So until next time, may you have love, hugs, and ladybugs. Bye-bye.